Hello, welcome, good day. I'm here to bring you a review of the 8BitDo Ultimate 2 Wireless, of which I have one. It being right here. I'll make a disclaimer immediately. This was bought with my own money, and I have no financial interest in making this review. I just grabbed this, put it in my hands after opening the box, and decided that this needed a review. And it's been about a month and a half. I've tried to use it as much as possible, internalize it, see how it feels. Tried in as many different games that I would play as normal. Games that include but are not limited to ZZZ, Honkai Impact 3rd, Honkai Star Rail, um, Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Elden Ring, Mega Man Battle Network 1 and 6, uh, Ultra, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, Capcom vs. SNK 2, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, Ultimate 3, and 4 on the MK Legacy Collection. And I tried Omega Phoenix. I tried Tales of Vesperia. I tried quite a few games. So anyway, let's get into this, right? So, as you may notice, I haven't played any FPSs. I'm not gonna play FPS on a controller. I play on PC. I have a keyboard and a mouse. So I can't. If you wanna play a FPS game and you wanna review specifically for how this works on FPS games, do not come to me. I'm just getting that out of the way one time. Racing games. I don't have any modern racing games. Uh, so I can't comment on that, unfortunately. But I think this would work really well for a racing game. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So let's get into it. Let's get into the nitty gritty. So this is the 8-bit do Ultimate 2 Wireless. Uh, be very careful. There is an 8-bit do Ultimate 2 Bluetooth. That is not this. This one has Hall effect triggers that the Bluetooth version does not have. The Bluetooth version has a potential issue with the triggers where they can there's a membrane in there that the triggers can actually slice through, and some people will mention that it is a problem with the Ultimate 2. It is only a problem with the Ultimate 2 Bluetooth. The wireless version does not have that problem. So let's get that out of the way immediately. So to begin with, let's discuss the good about the controller. So this is a wireless controller entirely. You can use it. You can use it wired. There's a spot here. There is a dock for it. The dongle is inside the dock at the bottom. When you're finished using it, you just rest it on the dock itself, and it will turn itself off and begin to charge. Uh, I don't know how long the battery lasts. The longest play session I had was 7 hours of Elden Ring in one go, and it charged itself in about 20 minutes back to full. I don't use the LEDs on the controller. The LEDs do drain the battery quite a bit faster, but I don't care for them. So I have the longest possible life that I could get out of it. So take that how you will. If you like to use the LEDs on the controller, because they do look kind of cool, then your mileage may vary. I have when I installed it, when I plugged it in, I immediately went and got I got the software for it, and I updated the firmware for the controller, updated the firmware for the dongle, which is a separate thing. Both were very easy to do. Didn't give me any problems. I've had no random disconnects. I've had no issues, no dropouts, no lag. It has been effectively quite flawless an experience for me to use. Uh, I have absolutely zero complaints on a technical standpoint from the controller. Excellent job. Excellent job to 8BitDo for this. Next good thing, I like the face buttons. The face buttons are fantastic. Just put them. You can see the face buttons here. XYBA, they're great. These two are start and select. I can't see. Yeah, these two are start and select on the controller. The positioning is pretty nice. It's way better than a DualShock. I'm coming off of a DualShock 4 that is 9 years old, and these are the ones for lighting and hotkeys. I don't remember what this one does, but it's in the manual. The sticks, I find the sticks are quite nice. They are TMR sticks, and being TMR, they will never get stick drift, no matter what you do. So I like them. I don't find my fingers slip too much, but I would have preferred a fully textured instead of the smooth in the center. You see, it's textured at the side, but it's smooth in the center. A fully textured grip would have been nice, but that is me completely nitpicking. It works perfectly fine. My fingers don't slip when I'm holding forward for 10 years when I'm running on torrent across the entirety of the map in Shadow of the Erdtree, etc., etc. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. They do their job well. I don't have any problems with these sticks whatsoever. The D-pad. I'll give it a passing grade. It is not as good as the DualShock or the DualSense. I notice it most in older fighting games like Street Fighter Alpha 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. I do drop some combos in them. I don't have much issue in Tails. I don't have much issue in what do you call it? In the newer fighting games. So like Ultra Street Fighter 4, Marvel's Capcom 1, Capcom vs SNK 2. I don't have too many issues in those. But Mortal Kombat 4 is also fine. I don't have too many issues in those. But the older ones, it is definitely harder to get the moves to come out on command as I want them to. Sometimes they just do not come out. Sometimes I know that I should have inputted correctly, and they don't come out. And as I said, I just moved off of the DualShock 4. I don't have it right here to show you. I lent it to my brother-in-law, but I just moved off of the DualShock 4 so that I know it's not me just being bad. It is that the D-pad just isn't too up to snuff. I would say it's about 80% of the way there. Sorry. I wish that they would focus on the D-pads a little bit more for these kinds of controllers. But there's little I can do about it. There's little I can do about it otherwise. That said, what else do we have? We have the bumpers. The bumpers are okay. There's nothing. No, I'll explain more about the bumpers later. Triggers are great. You have full range. This is a default where you can see it goes all the way down, or you can do here stop, where it'll stop right here. That's excellent for stuff like fighting games. For me, especially when you have to hit two buttons. When you don't have to hit two buttons, it's okay, because it doesn't matter if you put it in slightly or you put it in all the way. You're getting your trip kick off in Street Fighter with RT, right? But when you have to hit two buttons at the same time, it gets a bit difficult. Or when you have to hit like this, you have to do like that, or this. It can get a little difficult when you have the full trigger. So I'm glad for the hair triggers. I'm sure you FPS gamers will like the hair triggers too, even though I said I'm not reviewing for FPS gaming. For racing games, as we said, it's a hardware toggle right here. You don't have to worry about software for that. You don't need software at all for this controller as long as you are, as long as you have done the firmware updates. Effectively, just don't need to launch the software again. Next, these buttons. There's L4 and R4, and left and right paddles. The existence of these is excellent. The ability to map stuff to them, include map stuff from the rest of the controls to them, without the need for software, is also quite excellent. I mapped up on the D-pad and down on the D-pad here, and that's really helpful because when I'm riding torrent, so when I'm trying to go on torrent, normally you'd have to I don't know how to show you all this. Yeah, here we go. Normally, in Elden Ring you have the quick menu, hold Y, and you do up, down, left, right. I can just do Y in this, and I'm on torrent, while I never have to let this go. Or Y in this, and I drink my cereal and Estus flask for MP, because I play a mage on my main character. I use the Ash Estus quite a bit, and yeah, that worked out really well. I can also cycle my spells and my items without letting go the analog stick. Even if you're just in like Dark Souls Remastered, Dark Souls 2, whatever. That's really helpful. It is more helpful than I ever expected it could be. You have no idea how nice it is to be still like positioning yourself while you have the ability to toggle the items that you have. It's really good. I haven't tried it in Sekiro yet though. I might want to give it a try in Sekiro. I think it'll also be really useful in Sekiro. I should try Sekiro. But anyway, that's for later. Uh, all these are really good. The last good thing is that this controller, this is X input mode. This is an X input controller for wireless. But you can use the input mode, and you can use switch input mode too. Turn it off, and you turn it on while holding this or holding that. To get D input and switch input as well. The good thing about doing that is you sorry. Yeah, the good thing about doing that is, so I'll do the input mode now. Alright, so this is the input mode. So let's go from here. I'll bring up Steam. So when you're in the input mode, manage control out. As you can see, I can set stuff right here. I can set things. I can set keyboard commands. I can set numpad. I can set system. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you can set with the input mode when you are using Steam input for a game. And I really like that. That's a huge benefit. The downside that I have is that the input mode, a lot of newer games don't see the input mode for non-dual shock or dual sense controllers. So ZCC and Honkai Impacted and Honkai Star Rail, they don't see the controller in the input mode at all. I would have to launch it through Steam and use Steam input. But older stuff, like the Visual Boy Advance emulator, a lot of emulators will see your D input mode perfectly fine. Also, D input mode lets you have a gyro. There is a gyro on this control. There is a gyro that doesn't work in X input mode, but you can use it and map to it in D input mode, and it is the ability to use it for those who want to use it or those who can make use of it is really good. Search input mode is like the input mode, I believe, but it swaps A and B and it swaps X and Y. Obviously, you're not gonna physically swap the button, how the buttons look on the controller, but I guess for the purpose of games or emulator or something else like that, it'll read like that. Uh, those are all great features. I love them all. I think the controller is otherwise completely fantastic like that. Especially for its price. Because the price I paid for this is 51 US dollars. It's currently 60, but 50 to 60 US dollars is a bloody steal for this thing. It is absolutely bloody fantastic. I I can't believe it is that cheap. But anyway, let's go on. So it is not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some downsides to this. Uh, basically downsides here. So first downside that I'll bring out, LB and RB. Uh, this, how do I put it? LB and RB feel like the controller itself. Put it this way for you. As you can see, it's almost like it's just part of the curvature of the controller. Does that make sense? So I grip the controller like this. This is me playing a fighting game. A fighting game here, right? This is me playing a fighting game. See, right? If I'm holding this hard, match is getting sweaty. Stuff is going crazy. All of a sudden, my character is not moving in Mortal Kombat because I'm holding this hard and I'm accidentally pressing in block. That doesn't happen on a DualShock. I'm not saying that you need to adopt the exact design of a DualShock because the DualShock has L1 and R1 jutting out from the system. But I would like to be absolutely certain that LB and RB is a button. Especially because, as I said, when I hold it like this, it's easy to press, but it's also not too easy to rapidly tap for like fatalities and whatever. Like when you have to do like run block or whatever, it can be a bit difficult to when you have to do rapid tapping of the LB and RB like that as well. Uh, I don't think it would cost a lot to change the physical design of that for a later controller. So as I'm mentioning it, I'm trying to mention especially things that will not cost them much to change, if at all. But yes, so a slight design change here. Also, a slight design change is I would like, what is the word? I would like the controller to be wider. I how best to put it? This is again, this is fine, but if this was a little, if this was like out here, you know, out here instead of here, just a slight design change to make it a little easier to hold. Because you kind of pull it. It's hard to explain, but they made a change in the upcoming the Ultimate 3E, the 8BitDo Ultimate 3E. They did make that change. But that one is really expensive, and I don't consider it a competitor. I don't consider it a successor to this because it's too expensive. So if they were to make a successor to this, like a cheaper version, I would like if they keep that as well. I would like if they kept if they made the slight change to the L and R but LB and RB buttons. Um, these triggers are a problem. Sorry, not triggers. Paddles. These paddles are a huge problem. They are way too easy to hit. So remember I said these are easy to do anything if you're gripping it too hard. Look how you hold the controller. These are also easy to hit if you're gripping it too hard. It took me a while. It took me about 3 weeks to learn how to not hit them easily. But even then, I still sometimes hit them. Also, when you pick up the controller with one hand like this, um, the paddle itself presses in via just the weight of the controller itself. it's very easy to press in. I think the paddles should be stiffer so that you have to apply some modicum of force if you want to press them, because it's easy to apply quite a bit of force here, right? It being harder to press in is not gonna kill anybody's vibe or anybody's ability to press something in, but it just it's too easy right now. It's currently too easy to do it. So I consider these paddles worthless because because of how easily I would be constantly hitting them. If I didn't have that problem and I didn't hit them easily all the time, I'd be okay. I would say that's fine. I'd say that's great. But as for now, I consider them useless. They are just not a useful add-on for me. Maybe for some other people, maybe some other people can adapt to them easier. Maybe they can make sure they always pick up the controller with two hands. I don't know, but I think making them stiffer would be great. Uh, Other problem that I have is there's a light here. So let me put this on the dock. Turns off. See this light, this red light here? So this means it's charging, but when that red light is on and it's not on the dock, it means that the battery is getting low. So as I said before, I couldn't kill the battery, but people who use the lights could kill the battery. Or maybe someone doing like a long marathon of games or some reasons people could kill the battery. That light comes on to say that your battery is getting low. Now, as I said, you could use it wired, sure, but I want that light in a different place. I would prefer if that light was somewhere along the front here. There's a light in the middle here. I don't know what that light does. I don't think I've ever seen that light actually light up. But I would like if that light or a light in somewhere around there was the one that actually came on and said, "Hey yo, your battery's getting low." Because I'm looking at the controller here. I'm not seeing behind here. I'm seeing this. I'm not seeing the red on the back up here. So I think that's a design choice that they could make again. Once again, it wouldn't cost them anything. You just changing where our light is on the board. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay. One of the other things, this here, this is actually quite slippery. It is textured, but it is slippery. I'd prefer if they choose a different texture or a different material for this part of the controller. It's a small thing. Holding the controller with two hands doesn't have any problems. Holding it firmly with one hand is still not gonna have a problem. But it feels weird. It feels weird in your hand because it's a bit slippery. Uh that's just how it is. I hope they would change that in a future version. Another thing that I would like is perhaps if they would have the ability to let me set how long it takes to turn off the controller when it's off the dock. Currently, it turns off after 15 minutes. There is no way to change this. I would prefer if I could set that to never. There were some old games that where if a controller disconnected or you try to plug in a new controller while the game was running, the game wouldn't see it and you'd have to turn off the game and turn it back on to have it accept the new stuff. I haven't seen many modern games with that problem, but if I run into one of those older games where I wanted to play it and it did that, and I had to, I don't know, get up and get something to eat, and I left the game on, and I put the controller down on the dock, it'll turn off. So if I don't put it down on the dock and I just leave it there, it'll turn off in 15 minutes anyway. Uh, I would like if I could set it to not turn off. I'm not saying that it should do this by default. I'm saying that the option would be nice. That's it. Just the option would be nice. I and I think that's it. I think that's it for all the downsides that I can think of. I I think most of the changes that they could make wouldn't cost very much to improve things. Biggest change will probably be the D-pad being improved. Um, that'll be the biggest fix. But stiffer paddles, different texture here, uh, making the light in a different spot, and slightly changing the design of these buttons is not killing anybody in this world. That is going to be really cheap to implement. It's a side grade. It's not an upgrade. It's not a big R&D change. It's a side grade. So the manufacturer, it shouldn't change very much. And I would hope, well, I don't think they'll be seeing this review, but I would hope that if they do, they take some of my advice to heart. And I hope that this review helps anybody who's looking towards this to learn things. It would be nice. uh, yeah. The last. So all in all, I mentioned the price that I got it for. It's between 50 and 60 US dollars. I got mine for 51. My biggest regrets. First regret, I wanted the Evernight version. The Evernight version was $70 when I bought mine, and 4 days after I bought mine, after it had already delivered to my freight forwarding service to come to my country because I'm from the Caribbean, and at that point there was no way to send it back. It was already there. It was already delivered. There was no way to like cancel the order or anything. The Evernight version of the controller dropped to $49. And I was like, the slew of curses that left my mouth that night in Discord. Because the whole of my other Discord has the Evernight controller. And the one person who didn't have it was like, serious? It's come down so cheap now? I guess I'll buy it myself. Then he buys it for himself. So now I'm the only one who doesn't have it. I'm like, yeah, that's one of my regrets. My regret is not having the Evernight controller. My second regret is that this is not a symmetrical stick. I really wish this was symmetrical analog sticks, where the analog stick is here and the D-pad is up here. I would be so much happier with this thing. I wouldn't rate it any higher, but I would be so much happier if they could just release this thing, but symmetrical sticks, like just the same controller, but with symmetrical sticks. I'd be so happy. So many people would be so happy. And finally, last regret. I wish I wish I could have access to the games Cyclone 2 and the FlyDigi Apex 4 and the other competing controllers for this price range and feature set. I would really love to test them out. When I was looking for the one that I wanted to buy, I got this one, and I got this one primarily because it had the people were saying it had the best D-pad, and because it had the best D-pad, I wanted to get it. I said, okay, best D-pad, let's go with that. Um, it does have the best D-pad. I can't see, I can't tell, but I would like to be able to check the other devices that would have been competing with it in price. I don't think the DualShock or DualSense compete at all anymore. I think their only benefit is compatibility with some games out the box and the fact that they have a good D-pad. But then their DualSense stick drifts like it in freaking Fast and Furious 3. And everybody I know with one just had to replace or fix the sticks like every 3 months. So I had the money for that. I had it. I don't have the time for that. Just give me something good. You know what I mean? Um. Yeah. Yeah. So with all that, I give this a 9 out of 10. I give the hardware itself an 8 out of 10. I think like if I look at the controller and I don't consider price to performance or anything to that degree, it's an easy 8 out of 10. I give it an extra 0.5 for the value, because the value, the price range for this and the benefits and stuff that you get is impeccable. It is just absolutely completely fantastic. It is impeccable. I have no downsides. I have nothing to complain about. Nothing. It is just great. And finally, versatility of the direct input mode once you're using it with Steam input. Uh, Unfortunately, if you can't use Steam input on stuff like with Game Pass games, probably can't use direct input mode. But there's a lot of people out there who will make really good use of direct input mode and the gyro and all that stuff. And the fact that it's there as an option is what is the kicker. So I'm just gonna say there's too much stuff backed into it, especially, well, there's not too much. There's just a lot of stuff backed into it, and it's got a great price. It's got a great everything. I highly recommend this. I highly recommend this controller. Um, Also, you can look out. There's a few of them. There's a Wu Chang version that looked fire. Literally, it looked like it was on flames. And the Evernight version, if you find them, are at the same price, which can happen right now. It can happen fairly easily. You can find them at the same price. You might get some extra goodies when you're buying them. Uh, Maybe you don't want it, but it's up to you. They look nice. And with that, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been informative. And if somebody out there wants to send me one of the controllers I mentioned, like the Cyclone 2 or anything, to review and cross check versus this, I'm not gonna say no. You can feel free to do that. You can just leave a comment or find me on Twitter or something like that. I don't know. And aside from that, we're good. I hope you all enjoy. I hope this has been useful to you. I tried my best to be as fair as possible with it and list all the ups and downsides that I had. And with that, everybody have a good night or good morning or whenever it is you're watching this. I also did a write up. I also did a write up of the of a review, which I'll link in the description. I posted it on Reddit, but I decided to do this video anyway. So if you don't want to watch a video and you feel like reading text instead, you can check out that review on Reddit. Have a nice day. Goodbye.